I'm joined now by Erin Sikorsky. She is the Deputy Director of the Centre for Climate and Security and directs the International Military Council on Climate and Security in the US. Joins us live from Washington. It's very good to have you with us. In terms of this move, what does it mean in practice?
Thank you. I'm glad to be here this morning. What it means in practice is the U.S. is returned to the world stage to lead by example on climate mitigation and climate adaptation. The Biden administration has made clear that climate change is central to U.S. foreign and security policy, and that every bilateral and multilateral conversation it has will feature climate front and center. And I think that's the real important thing, is that climate isn't left behind and to the side. It's there in every conversation. And you've seen that already in many of the conversations they're having with foreign partners around the globe.
You mentioned two concepts there, climate mitigation, climate adaptation. If you can just give us a sentence on what exactly those mean.
Sure. So climate mitigation, right, is cutting emissions, making sure that we meet the goals set out in the Paris Agreement to keep rising temperatures below 2 degrees Celsius. So we avoid catastrophic security risks in the second half of this century. However, we've already bought some climate change problems, as we see every day around the globe, and that's going to require adaptation as well. So they're two sides of the same coin of managing climate change. We have to help countries, and including in our own country, in the United States, adapt and build resilience to the climate risks that already exist.
Some people consider climate change to be someone else's problem. It doesn't affect them. They're not seeing the effects of it where they live. Why should they care?
Well, I think as we're seeing, again, every day that goes by here in the United States or in other countries around the world, it is increasingly affecting everyday people, whether it's the fires in California, whether it's what's called sunny day flooding or high tide flooding in coastal communities. It's increasingly affecting security of Americans as well as other people around the globe. And when it intersects with other risks as well, I think is where we see this. And in the past year with the pandemic, you've seen when you have pandemic challenges with climate change on top of that, then everyday people are affected in their lives and their economic prospects, in their families' safety and security.
What else could be done to try and really take a chunk out of this problem? Because it is such a monumental task for the whole world to deal with that you could only really look at going one step at a time. Apart from the US joining the Paris rejoining the Paris Climate Agreement, what should the next stage be?
Well, there are a couple different things, I would say, particularly in the national security realm, that would really help. And the Biden administration is already leading the way on this. But one is that in every regional and country strategy that the U.S. develops for places around the globe, that climate change is integrated into that. The good news on climate is we have some unprecedented foresight tools that allow us to model how climate change will affect areas of the world. So we can prepare. We have a responsibility, in fact, to prepare using these models to build our resilience in such a way that we can absorb these shocks that are coming down the road. And I think that is one of the most important things we can do. The U.S. can be a leader on the world stage and help other countries build this resilience to manage these challenges going forward.
Erin Sikorsky from the Centre for Climate and Security, thank you very much for joining us here on BBC News.
Thank you very much.